I know only love. This is my passion. An echo of timelessness. Art in application.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm gonna show you how to play Jhin today. In my opinion, one of the most unique champions we have in the game at the moment. Like, his design is so insanely cool. So his passive, he has 4 auto attacks, and the last auto attack is going to be a guaranteed crit that also deals bonus damage based on missing health. So that already makes him different from every other AD carry in the game. So in this 4th auto attack is coming up, guys, you can walk up and play more aggressive because people don't want to face tank it because it's free bonus damage, right? So when this auto attack is coming up, you just walk forward and then you try to zone people away. Since people will back off when that auto attack is coming up, sometimes you can try to bait it out. So your Q is like this grenade that's going to bounce and it deals bonus damage, like if it managed to execute targets on the way. And sometimes you can just walk up and then you can Q a minion when your 4th auto attack is ready, because that makes it look like you're going to auto attack the minion and then people walk up and then you can hit them in the face. So Jhin is actually pretty strong in the laning phase. Like, he does well into most matchups, and it is a champion with insane range, and we have the W right here. So when you auto attack targets, when you damage targets, or when your allies damage targets, or when they step on one of your traps, then they get this mark right next to them, and when you W somebody with that mark on them, they're gonna become rooted. So this is one of your long range abilities that allows you to set up plays from far away, and it can also help your teammates chase people down. This ability is really good at setting up, especially for jungle ganks as well. So this Q grenade here, as I said, it deals bonus damage if it manages to execute targets on the way. So like, to get the maximum amount of damage, you want to like put the minions to low HP, and then you can use the Q to wave clear, but you can also use it to like increase the damage of it. So start off with boots on Jhin, and then 4 health potions, because that gives you that mobility that you need to like dodge incoming skill shots. Really great in you know, skill shot heavy lanes, but also just for that sustain you get, so you can stay in lane for longer. You can do 1 quick auto attack into a Q and then just back off. That's like a quick short trade that you can do. But like, if possible, when you have the 4th auto attack up, always try to like Q first and then use the auto attack afterwards, because as I said, it deals bonus damage based on missing health. So like, try to like use everything you have first and then that auto attack in the end, if you want maximum damage. And then your traps, the way you can place them at the riverside. That can like help you evade jungle ganks. They also slow the target when they step on them, and then they deal bonus damage or damage after short delay. It's great for damage, but also just great for getting vision and to shut down incoming ganks. Like, it's going to make it really difficult for the enemy jungler or mid laner or top laner to gank when you set those traps up properly. And also, the way you want to use the W, guys, like, be patient with it and try to like time it with your allied CC. So in this case, we have the support here. We can wait for him to use his Q or the E, and then we can use the W. So a Jhin works really well with something like a Thresh, like an Alistar or Leona and such, who has some kind of hard CC where he can easily follow up. Yeah, you can afford to play really aggressive in the lane, play around that 4th auto attack. The thing is, guys, is that your 4th auto attack, when you use that, you have to reload. So while you're reloading, you're going to be vulnerable, so you want to back off while that's happening. And also, you cannot increase his attack speed. You can build attack speed items, but what happens is that you cannot increase it. Instead, it's going to increase his AD. The only way you can increase his attack speed is by gaining it passively. Every single time he levels up, then you gain it from the base stats. That is the only way you can increase the attack speed. But when you do build attack speed, you just get bonus 80 instead. And also, every single time you crit a target, then you get some bonus movement speed. And that's going to be insane later on, because then you suddenly become insanely mobile, despite not having any other mobility in your kit. So building attack speed is not troll because like he converts that into bonus AD. So try to like time your CC with your allied, because that's the easiest way to hit your W, as you can see right here, and that allows you to get a free kill as well. So that actually makes Jhin pretty strong from long range as well, because of his W, but also because of his ultimate. And when you want to push waves, you can just put one minion to low HP and you like damage all of the minions, and then let your Q bounce off of the targets, and that should be enough to finish it off. And if you do need the extra wave clear, you can also place down the E, the traps. And you rush those Tier 2 boots on Jhin early on, because like mobility is really important. It helps him kite around stuff and also makes it really easy or difficult for people to hit him with skill shots. Just save your W for those allied CC, allows you to get a really free hit as well. So when you like trade with Jhin, guys, both auto attack if possible. So like you hit somebody with a W, maybe they stepped on a trap, maybe they got hit by allied CC or damaging stuff. You W them, you walk up, you Q them, and then fourth auto attack, and then you back off. Because when you're reloading, that's when you're vulnerable, and that's when people are looking to trade back. So you don't want to give them that opportunity. So when he's about to reload, you just back off and wait for your auto attacks to come back up. We do have that ultimate up right now. So what it does is like a sniping ability. So Jhin is all about that 4 number. Fourth auto attack deals bonus damage, same thing with your fourth ultimate. But it's like a long range sniping ability, and every single shot is going to slow the opponent as well. So it's a champion that relies on you being really good at skill shots. And this ultimate can be used to execute people from long range, or it can also be used to engage with. You know, when you see somebody overextended, you can pop that ultimate, hit them with the skill shots, that's going to slow them, and that can maybe help your teammates catch up. That's a really good hook by the Thresh into that W Lantern. And we're gonna get that free kill on that Serath as well. So we're already snowballing a bit here in the bot lane. And Jhin is actually, can be a pretty heavy kill lane depending on the support you get. Like obviously if you get something like a Thresh, like Leona or Alistar, you can afford to play a lot more aggressive. Also if you get an enchanter like a Janna, you can also play super aggressive in the early game, because then you have double ranged bot lane. But you don't have to play aggressive, because this champion scales insanely well. As I said, you get a lot of AD, because like bonus attack speed also gets converted into bonus AD, meaning that probably the AD carry that gets one of the highest AD numbers in the game, or AD champions in general. So place those traps in a way that when the enemy jungler or somebody else tries to gank you, they're gonna step on the traps, they're gonna be slowed, and then you can maybe trade back, or you can just run away. And if you see how I placed that trap right above me, I placed this because you're playing against the Kayn, and he's gonna EO the walls, right? And this is the way that he's going to appear from. So like, be adaptive and place it in a way that the enemy jungler will be forced to step on them if they want to gank you, and then you can find a way to trade back or just run away. So we are left alone in the bot lane, as usual. That is the life of an AD carry. When the support decides to roam, obviously you cannot do anything about it, so you have to play safe unless you are stronger than the bot lane. Right now, of course, we are fed. Not that fed, 2 kills, but it's still pretty nice to have that lead early on in the game. Playing at something like an Yeagerlol, you want to stay behind the minions, because then you body block his Q, and that's going to make him a lot weaker in trades. When you want to push, just auto attack the minions and then let your Q bounce off of them, and that's gonna clear out the wave. So you have some pretty decent wave clear. It's not the best because your wave clear is delayed. Like you cannot insta wave clear. You have to like set up the minions, and then you have to Q them, and then you have to E them as well. So it's like you have wave clear, but it's delayed wave clear. So it's not the good kind of wave clear that you have. But at least you still have something compared to something like a Yeagerlol who has nothing at all. They can zone people away. Thresh is zoning them away, camping in their brush right there, so we can just stay and farm. And then we just wait for him to make a play, and then we can follow up. That's typically how you want to play Jhin. Because supports dictate the early game. That's just how it is, and unfortunately a lot of AD carry players don't understand that. But yeah, you have to play around the support early game, and if your support sucks, that's just how it is. Then you just have to farm as well as you can, try to get high CS numbers, and then you can carry when you get the items that you need. And then you try to like carry in the team fights. We're trading back right here, got a kill in a 2 vs 3, so that's awesome. Xerath ultimate coming in. Had to flash out of this one because otherwise I would have died. And also the thing with the ultimate and your W is that it can be body blocked by an enemy champion. So even though Xerath is low HP right here, as long as Ezreal stands in front of him, like they can body block all of the shots. And because your ultimate deals bonus damage based on missing health, similar to your 4th auto attack, it does almost no damage to full HP targets. So if like a full HP tank decides to body block your ultimate, then it's going to do almost nothing. So like be patient with it and wait for the right moment. Fiddlestick looking for a gank in the mid lane. He does not have his ultimate up, and that's a very questionable skill shot by the Yone, but they still ended up getting the kill, so that's all cool. So you have the Gale Force right now, so this item actually has incredible synergy with Jhin. Because like the active, he does not have any mobility, right? So the mobility is another bonus part of it. But the other part is that since your 4th auto attack deals bonus damage based on missing health, you can like Gale Force in, then you can Q them, and then you can auto attack. That's going to deal insane amount of burst damage. Similar to the damage that you get from an assassin later on in the game. So like it enables your safe play, because you can use that for mobility to like escape stuff. Or you can also use it aggressively with the damaging part on that Gale Force. Unfortunately, that was a really bad ultimate. But yeah, that happens sometimes. That's why if you play this champion, you have to be really good with skill shots. But obviously that can be difficult to hit sometimes if you're playing against a mobile enemy champion. Just placing the traps this way because you're playing against the Kayn. Otherwise, I would be placing them in a line on the riverside, because that's the easiest way for the enemy jungler to gank. And then you can also place them next to the brush. You don't want to place them inside, because like if they use the sweeper like the Xerath did right here, then that's also going to clear out the traps. But play aggressive when your 4th auto attack is coming up. Try to zone people away. And you, as I said, an easy way to like bait them out and still get that 4th auto attack in, as I said early on, is that when the 4th auto attack is ready, people are gonna back off, and then you can like Q a minion because it looks like you're going to use the auto attack on it. And then when you Q them, they're gonna step forward, and then you hit them in the face with that 4th auto attack. There's like a sneaky way to get that auto attack in, and that's something every single high elo Jhin player does. Unfortunate that hook missed. But yeah, he actually played pretty well the laning phase. This does not happen every single game, of course. Sometimes you do end up getting that passive support, which is a bit unfortunate, because like if you play in lower elos and you play something like a Jhin, you can definitely look for kills in the laning phase in the early game. But as I said, supports dictate the early game, so if they play passive, you're also forced to play passive. You cannot do much about it. In that case, just focus on farming up. A lot of stuff happening on the other side of the map. Garen trying to get the Herald, question mark. But all in all, top lane is doing well, mid lane is losing, but that's also a counter matchup, so that's to be expected. We are doing great bottom side. They traded 1-for-1 mid lane, and we got a kill in the bottom lane. Nice engaged by the Fiddlesticks. Like, it's gonna be so awesome if you have teammates with CC, because then you have very easy time hitting your ultimate, but also your W. So don't waste your W early on. Wait for allied CC to hit first and then you follow up. And the thing is, Jhin is also getting buffed. So that's going to be next week from making of this video. And I saw that they're going to buff the duration of your W, CC duration, so that's insane. That just makes it even more important that you know how to hit the skill shot. And the easiest way, wait for people to hit their CC abilities and then you follow up. That's a pretty close move right there, but he survived and we're gonna pick up the fruit, getting some more HP back. And then we can just head back to lane, or we can also recall. We need the next item here. That item also has great synergy because it allows us to build some lethality stuff. And that's just OP into a very squishy team composition, but if they have a lot of tanks in your game, then you just skip this item and you go straight for Lord Dominic's. But this item gives you a lot of AD, and it also gives you crit, and it also gives you lethality. So that's why it has great synergy on Jhin. But only something you want to buy into squishier teams, because otherwise lethality becomes kinda useless. You'll be much better off with Lord Dominic's at this point in the game if they have a tanky team composition. Like if they have bruisers and tanks, then just go for the Lord Dominic's. So Jhin is pretty immobile without the Gale Force. So you don't really want to be alone anywhere, unless you're ahead and you're pretty confident that nobody can kill you, then it's fine, but otherwise you want to stay with your teammates. Like you're not playing Vayne, you're not playing Yeagerlol. You don't have their mobility and you also don't have their 1 versus 1 potential. It's a champion that does well in like 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, 5 versus 5, team fights and so on. He's not that good by himself because of this reload mechanic, so as soon as he uses those 4 auto attacks, then he has nothing up. And any AD carry that builds like a lot of attack speed and crit can easily 1 versus 1 him. Unless you're really fed of course and you have a lead. So that's why you want to stay grouped as usual, and if your support calls for you, then you can go to side lane and pick up the farm. Otherwise you just want to stay mid and then you let your mid laner rotate bot. Now I got enough gold for the collector. That's really nice for the burst damage. It gives us all the stats that we need. And now we're just building towards a fire cannon, because that gives us that extra long range auto attack, and when you combine that with your 4th auto attack, that is insane range. Long range W, that's gonna root him and he's gonna be stuck. And then long range ultimate as well, so you can play him like a artillery mage, isn't that you stay back, you know, try to provide CC and damage. That was actually a really nice sidestep by the Kane. Pretty fast reaction time too. But like you can provide damage and CC from long range, so that makes this champion pretty versatile in fights. Like you don't have to be close range to anybody in order to deal damage, so that makes him pretty safe as well in team fights because you have your W and your ultimate. Yeah, not sure what happened with my PC right there. We'll just hit bot and pick up this wave. And we go bot lane and kill this Yeagerlol too, because we are really fit right now, so obviously he cannot fight us. And then W. The thing is, if you hit somebody who's out of vision, as you can see this animation. Like it's gonna give off this animation so you know if somebody's camping in this push. So you can also use this to like avoid face checking with. Top lane looks a bit doomed. I don't know why they're letting this Garen free push top lane. But it's like the problem in the lower elos is that split pushing is so OP because people don't know how to play against it. Like they're gonna panic. They're gonna panic when they see somebody like showing up to the base tower, and instead of one guy recalling, the entire team is gonna recall, and then that leaves the map open for the rest of the enemy team. So if you play in lower elos and this happens a lot, you really have to be the one to take the lead. Be sure to spam ping a lot because people don't know what to do, and you can like help them out, like tell them where to go and stuff. They're not gonna follow all the time, but I have learned that it actually works a lot of the times. Like if you tell them where to be, like spam ping to make sure that they see it. Not in a toxic way, but in a way that you make sure that they actually see it. Look at that insane bonus movement speed you get. That's why crit is really important, because the more you crit, the more mobility you get, and that's gonna make it easier for you to maneuver around in teamfights and really make sure that you dodge all of that incoming damage, all of that incoming CC. Just permakite people, and you get insane mobility later on. I did not walk in and damage him immediately because like he can just gap close and kill me, so we're gonna go for the Zarath and just pop this guy and then keep the distance, because like when you don't know if they have flashes up, you can see this guy just flashed away. So imagine if I popped up earlier when he was about to walk into the dragon pit, he would have flashed and killed me, right? So that's why be really smart about it and also know what the opponents can do to you. That's especially important when you play a squishy role like an AD carry. But stay back like every other AD carry. The advantage you have is that you have extra long range compared to every other AD carry. Except for maybe Kai'Sa with a W, like the AP build, but you both have this really high range ability, so you don't have to like put yourself at a risk. And I misclicked that W, unfortunately. That's really bad. But we still ended up getting that kill on the Zarath, and then we can go and help the Yone. Clean W like that. Like, if they run in a straight line, know that your W has like a short delay to it, so you want to like place it in front of them. Like a small distance in front of them, and then they will end up running into it. Because W is not immediate, like there's a small delay, so that's like the easiest way that you make sure that you actually hit it. And then also make sure you are out of vision. Otherwise they can see you using it and then they will be prepared. Now we're gonna build towards the big crit item, the Infinity Edge, and that's gonna increase our DPS to the max. Garen is really OP in low elos, guys. If you play top lane and you want some free elo, go with the Garen. People don't know how to play against it, and he snowballs really hard as well, and he's also pretty difficult to shut down. Even if you build 80, he's still gonna be real tanky. But yeah, that guy is actually giving us issues this game. He's definitely making it harder for us to shut it down. But we want to stay grouped with our teammates or our support. We don't want to be alone, because that leaves the enemy champions off to get free kills on us. You can see that W hit because you can see the animation, so that's a way to see that you get free hits without having vision on them. You can use this to like check for bushes when you have to check the Baron pit and such, and you cannot afford to face check, then you can just use that W. And also like place the traps in like openings. You can see right here, that would be a good spot to place it. So when you do the Baron or the Dragon, they'll be forced to face check it, and if they step on a trap, they're gonna be slowed. You follow up for the W, root them, and then maybe someone else can engage, or you can follow up for the ultimate and get another free kill. That was a really close one. Got the flash out, so that's also really worth it, because that has a way higher cooldown than our ultimate. Gonna go ahead and buy the Infinity Edge, and also because this Garen is split pushing all games, so we are forced to match him because no one else is. So just go pushing top side here so you can show out the wave. Otherwise, next time when we go mid, this guy's just gonna take down the inhibitor. So we want to take down the Garen. When we do that, that's gonna leave the Baron open, because then they have no one who can like pressure for them. But this is a big spike, and it's super fun to play at this play Jhin at this point in the game. Really nice knock up by the Yone. And we got a W hit. It can only hit one enemy champion, like it passes through the minions, but only one enemy champion can hit by the W. Look at that AD we have, 568. Which AD carry is able to get these high AD numbers? I don't know why no one is backing off. That's a bit annoying, because like when people don't know how to play against a split pusher, it's really making it really difficult for the rest of us. But Illaoi is back, so we're just gonna push for this tower. Healing back up here. Illaoi died topside. That really blows. So you don't really build lifesteal on Jhin. And that's why you use the Legend Bloodline. Because then you don't have to build lifesteal. Then you can get away with building full crit. And because you have so much AD, you're gonna heal up for a ton. Every single time you hit somebody. And also because we have Fleet Footwork. That also heals us for a ton when we hit an enemy champion. So because we get a lot of lifesteal through the runes, then we don't have to build anything from the items, and that allows us to build full AD. Sitting on 80% crit, every single crit is going to give us an insane amount of movement speed. They just end up becoming a kiting machine. And then the last item really depends what you build. Lord Dominic's usually in a full build game, people have armor at some point, and that's why Lord Dominic comes in. And that fourth auto attack actually deals an insane amount of damage later on in the game, so you can also use it to like secure objectives. But at the team fighting point in the game, if you play in lower elos, abuse that extra range you get on that rapid fire cannon, because people are always going to overextend. So try to like poke them down when that rapid fire cannon passive comes up, and then follow up with a W, and then maybe an ultimate and such. Like try to poke, and then when they're low HP or when they're at a disadvantage, that's when you go all in. Now we got level 16, last point into that ultimate to increase the damage to the absolute max. I cannot walk away this here because we saw the cane. And just poke them down. Even W actually deals a decent amount of damage. Because we have 654 AD guys, that is nuts. Really insane engaged by the Thresh, staying back, using that ultimate. Even if you don't hit all the shots, if you hit a couple guys, that slow alone, all the damage alone can put somebody completely out of the fight. And we got the kill on that Vex, and now we can go ahead and end the game. We are going to chase down the Garen, it seems. Because I think we wanted to do the Baron here. We could actually end the game as well. But the enemy team is going to FF, so that was how to play Jhin. I hope this was helpful. As always, thanks for watching and see you all next time.